If you've never spent a day overseas, whether it's Iraq or Afghanistan, or you don't serve in some type of civil service post, whether it's the police, ATF, DEA, fast teams, and you're out here saying that special forces is going to crush the cartel, you just need to shut the fuck up because you have no idea the world of hurt that we're in for. It's going down, right? President Trump just signed an executive order designating the cartels, all of them, as terrorist organization. And what that allows them to do is to use special forces, Delta Force, Green Berets, Navy SEALs to go after the cartels. How is that going to pan out? I personally think it's a bad fucking idea and we're in for a world of hurt once this thing starts unfolding. Before we jump into it, guys, I'm going to read you guys this article. The title of the article is Drug Cartels Now Mexico's Fifth Largest Employer. Some 175,000 people now actively work for Mexico's drug smuggling cartel. According to this estimate, the cartel has the ability to recruit more than 350 people a day. That's the machine that U.S. Special Forces would be going up against. And while all this is developing, what do you guys think Mexico is going to be doing in the background? Let me know in the comment section. Because keep in mind, Mexico is a sovereign nation. We're not at war with Mexico. So in order to go in there, more than likely, we're going to need permission from them. Let's now talk about titles and authorities. Within the military or the Department of Defense and all these different entities, the president has to look at titles and authorities, giving him the ability to use certain forces to go action certain targets. The military, the DOD, we operate under Title 10. The CIA, they operate under Title 50. The National Guard, that's Title 32. So under Title 50, the CIA would be able to employ clandestine operation to gather intelligence, to disrupt the cartel's logistical chain, and to infiltrate their ranks without the public knowing. Using Title 50, the CIA can also train local militias and employ them to fight cartel members. But to be able to do that, guys, guess what the CIA needs? It needs permission from the Mexican government, whose fifth largest employer just happens to be the cartel. How do you guys think that's going to pan out? That's Title 50 under the CIA. Now, under Title 10, the military can employ overwhelming firepower to try to dismantle the cartel. They also can train military police, the Mexican government, to essentially go after cartel members. But again, just like Title 50, under Title 10, we still need permission from the Mexican government. Whatever we decide to do, Mexico has to be on board with it. If they're not, then we're essentially invading another country that's right on our border to go do work. It's not a good idea, guys. Like whatever we decide to do, Mexico has to bless off on. And if they haven't been doing that thus far, what makes you think that they're going to go along with this plan? Again, there's a lot of moving pieces here that we have to take in mind before we go do this. And what's the blowback of not doing it right? What country is currently going through something like this right now? Israel. Israel shares a border with everyone that's trying to fucking destroy them. Right? And how is that turning out? Do we want to become Israel? Do we want to be at war with Mexico and the cartel? Ask yourself that question. Now, let's look at strategy. If you look at Iraq and Afghanistan, the way we went in and the way we left, are those countries better or are they worse? And that's a legit question, guys, because we spent 20 years in Afghanistan, 20 years in Iraq, and all we did was just kill a bunch of freaking high-level leaders. 20 years, 20 different wars. That was our strategy. We went in, find whoever was in charge, kill them, And in the following year, when somebody else took charge, killed them, and that was it. That's all we did in those countries. Are we going to use a similar strategy to fight off the cartel? It's not wise. Because if we go into Mexico, hunt down cartel leaders, and kill them, guess what? Someone else is going to take their place. We kill them, someone else is going to take their place, guys. Because guess what, man? We did it in Colombia. We did it in Venezuela when we were fighting the freaking narco war down there. And guess what? We still have this problem. So again, we got to make sure we go in with the right strategy. And on top of that, biggest mistake we made in Iraq and Afghanistan is we didn't respect our enemy. We thought we were just fighting dudes with fucking man jams and flip-flops. Guess what? 20 years later, guess who's laughing? They are. So again, we have to employ the right strategy going into Mexico, or else it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. Staying along the lines of strategy, going into Mexico, you got to keep these factors in mind. 32 million people currently living in the United States are of Mexican descent. Another 62 million has ties to Latin America. What do you guys think the appetite is going to be from the local population when they see on television body parts, bummed out kids, families shot to death because we are down there doing work? And for you to think that the cartel doesn't have a robust IO campaign, then you're mistaken. The freaking Afghan people were able to run theirs efficiently using fucking Nokia phones. We would go to a village, do work. By the time we get back to the fob, we're already shut down for 24 to 48 hours because of SIFCAS. Another thing you got to keep in mind, guys. Again, having been there, done it, seen it, I can see these things happening. We go down there and fuck with Jose and them, and then all they do is they go to Juarez or some other town in Mexico, kidnap a family, and coerce guys in the United States, citizens, law-abiding citizens, to turn towards the U.S. citizens and cause them harm. That's been a shit ton of cases where we're in Afghanistan doing work, Taliban goes into this village, kidnap a dude's family, that's part of the Afghan local police. Next thing you know, he turns an AK-47 onto his U.S. partners. You guys don't think that's going to happen when we go down there and start fucking up Jose and them? You don't think they're going to use that TTP? Unlike Afghanistan, Iraq, and all these other places that we fought, we don't have an ocean between us and Mexico, guys. And the cartel, they're freaking ruthless. So to think that they're not going to start using and employing those tactics, you're out of your mind. So when I see people on YouTube talking about, oh, we're going to crush the cartel, it's about time, I'm like, dude, I'm going to be in Walmart looking at fucking Jesus and them sideways like, dude, I know they just kill your fucking homeboys down there, but don't even fucking think about it. Because that's all it takes. As a man, as a protector of your family, regardless of where you're at, the United States, Mexico, Iraq, Afghanistan, your family gets kidnapped, your kids get picked up, you're going to do whatever the fuck you need to do to get them back home safe. And to say that you won't, you're lying to yourself. How do we actually win the war against the cartel? How do we actually fix this issue? I hate to break it to you guys, but we can't. We won't be able to. Fuck, we can't even fix Chicago. What makes you guys think that we're going to be able to fix this issue with the cartel? It's not going to happen. Why? For a couple of different things. Mexican government is corrupt as shit. Hell, some part of our government is corrupt. So to think that we're going to go down there, knock out a couple of people, and that it is going to fix everything, it's not. Supply and demand. As long as Americans keep wanting drugs, there's going to be people to supply drugs to Americans. That's just how that works. Right? So again, corrupt government, as long as that's in place, that's not going to happen, guys. So if we want to truly affect this, we got to work on the Mexican government, which again puts us in the state of nation building, which is where we don't want to be. The second thing that we can do, guys, is we can target the money. Instead of targeting individuals or the cartel themselves, we need to target the money. Target and follow the money. And more than likely, that shit's going to lead right back to the fucking United States. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to lead to Miami and some other places in the freaking U.S. Because for the cartel to be as big as they are right now, they got to have some type of link to the United States. They got to have politicians. That's just how this shit works. So if we really truly want to affect this, we got to follow the money and we have to target that. Last but not least, we got to take care of the root of the problem. There's a reason why a bunch of people are dying from fucking fentanyl overdose. It's because they're fucking addicts. It's because they love drugs. They know that they might end up with a bad batch and dying. But that's not stopping them from doing fucking drugs. That's the problem. Not the cartel, not Mexico. It's the citizens of the United States that's consuming drugs at an alarming rate. Earlier in the video, I talked about supply and demand. If we want drugs and we crush the cartel, guess what? Another entity is going to rise to fill the gap. And what are we going to do? Go to war with that country too? Go to war with that entity also? How about we look inward and do a better fucking job at raising our kids and policing up our youth and teaching them that doing a pile of fucking cocaine isn't the right thing to do? If there's no supply, guess what? There's no cartel to supply it. There's no fentanyl deaths. We can crush the cartel today like this. But as long as Americans want their drugs, guess what? They're going to find a way to get it. Hell, they'll go all the way to fucking Ukraine to get the drugs. And as long as we want it, there's going to be people out there that are going to be creative to find a way to get it to us. It just happens to be the cartel now. But crushing them isn't going to fix the underlying issue, which is we are a country addicted to fucking drugs. That's the end of it, guys. But let me know what you guys think, guys. I just wanted to come on here and do a breakdown for you guys because I know this is a hot topic right now and people live in fucking delusional world and they think this shit's going to be over just like this. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, you go over there and start fucking with Jesus and them, there's going to be blowback. Go to your local pawn shop and strap up because it's about to get real. Because you don't go into a country and start fucking with an entity as big as the cartel and expect them not to cross the border and start fucking up American citizens.